welcome to the show on tonight. My guest, my sister friend, Mrs. Tracie Garvin-Springer.
I interned at The Source magazine. I was at The Source's their second hip hop award show. This is when Tupac was still alive, so I got a chance to intern there. It was fun. It was definitely fun. I think those were some of my most memorable moments because this was someone that I worked with. There's quite a few, I've worked with him, and now he's like this big time, actor. And I remember like putting on clothes because you want to get in the character, and that's what I love. So the styling is great, but the wardrobing for film and theater, and even when I worked in a theatrical production, that getting, you have to get into character for each character, and that's what I love. I just coined this phrase. Don't worry about how you look. I got you from the neck down. Worry about what's going on in here when it's time to go do the interview. Because I'm 100% confident that I'm going to make sure you look nice. And that comes from the wardrobe. That comes from the styling. So, it definitely Dress for Success, I felt like definitely has been was a blessing for me, a blessing for other women. So it's had a good run.
Allow me to digress. You made mention of your daughter, Naja. Is that correct?
Yes, Naja.
Yes, she's an artist in her own right.
Yes, she is. That's my girl.
Can you talk to me about your daughter? Because I know my daughter's number one fan. She's an artist as well. Can you talk to us about young Queen Naja?
Well, Naja, actually, thank you, Lord. She just got a new position. She's the social media and marketing manager of Mural Arts Philadelphia. So when you go to Philly and you see all those, those artwork on the buildings, that's what she's doing now. So, she didn't major in art in college, but she went to the performing high school here in Bethlehem, and that's where she majored in art. But when you know your children. So like I have in my house, how when she does, I'm like, Mommy owns all, I own all of this. So yeah, she's doing her thing, but I am so proud of this new generation. Now they have the issues. They're not taking the things that we were taught and thought we had to take. They don't, they got their beat of their own drum and movement, and I'm all there for it. I mean, as long as you're safe and everything. She hasn't come back home to this area. I mean, that's a sidebar comment because I didn't want her to. Yeah. I don't want you fighting and banging your head to prove your worth. And she's out there. I'm like, yeah. So yeah, she always does her own artwork throughout the pandemic. They had these small art shows, and and I'm like, come on, Lord. Yeah, I'm definitely number one fan. Definitely.
Yes, I absolutely get it, sis. I absolutely do. I'm certain you see the artwork hanging up behind me.
Yes.
My daughter, Miss L Boogie, Lene Hansford, is the artist who created that at my request. You see,
I love your tilted. Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, I see. Yeah, it's very nice.
Yes, nice. I'm like you. The only art I have hanging up in my house at this point is something that my daughter created. And I'm a huge fan of celebrating what this generation is doing as far as being able to utilize their voices, utilizing their gifts appropriately to affect change in the world. We're going to get into a little bit of this and a little bit of that. This one, that one, who you with. Now, you are a professional stylist by trade, and you've had the opportunity to pull from a whole lot of different racks, different designers you've been exposed to. So I want to ask you, whose rack would you pull from first? And I want you to justify your answer because I know there's a whole lot of stylistas in our listening audience. And, I'm interested to see who you would pull first. Coco Chanel, Donna Karan, or Vera Wang?
Coco Chanel. Yeah, I mean, very much so. That woman alone was like doing her own thing. She was setting the precedence for all of the other people you just mentioned. So, yeah, Coco Chanel, hands down, very much
hands down. I agree with that selection, sis. I really do. And like I said, we already vibing. We've been sisters in the spirit for quite some time now.
Yes.
You spoke about some African American designers that you are intentionally looking to highlight? And girl, you had to know that was on my paper, because right now I'm trying to switch up my summertime fine swag and refresh my closet. And I'm always interested in spending my black dollars with people who look like me. Which African American designers are you looking to highlight during this season? I know we got a bunch of them running around here in the Lehigh Valley.
Okay, so let me back up and say it like this. One, and so you mentioned styling, right? So right now, due to the pandemic, you know, people designing, everybody's out here and they're trying to get their hustle on. They're trying to, you know, and that was a great time, like, to have all sorts of platforms. And it's funny because I just spoke about Tracie Reese this morning to a friend of mine. Tracie Reese has been in the game for a very, very long time. And if I could pull from anyone right now, it would be her, because I've never had the opportunity. I don't own anything by Tracie Reese, right? And it's not that she wasn't, you know, you couldn't get to her, but their prices are here, and they have the right to be, right? So I'm the type. So now let's say I'm not styling. Let's just say, as a matter of fact, you said wardrobe. I need to be frugal. I like to look good. I like the high nose of looking good, right? So in my frugality, I make sure that I try to take her name is Lola Faluda. Pardon me for mispronouncing her last name. This is bad. What she does have is funky bags, right? But the kind of cloth bags, same print. And I was like, oh, I know how to do this. So her bag might have cost me, it was $40, $45. I got the bag because no matter what you wear, because it has such multi-colors, very vivid colors, you can rock that out. Listen, we're not trying to break the bank to look good, right? So I support when I can. The past couple of years, I definitely have purchased things from different Black designers, but there are things that I know that are affordable. That's something that I can justify, like, yes, this made sense, but still enough, you know, the style is there, and a lot of them are blown up. When you start seeing them in like Saks, and Neiman, you're like, and which is, hey, blessings to them. But that's when it's starting to go. So I'm a sale watcher, regardless.
You too, girl.
On sale, like clearance. Yeah. So, that's how I'm gonna and it depends on the production. You know, it depends on what you're working on. I mean, honestly, I would love to see a challenge of going to Walmart and let's see who can bring it. Okay. And I'm not swaying away from the Black design, but it's about style. Like, let's see who can go to Walmart and just put. I'm not even dissing Walmart. I'm just saying it's about style. It's about how you want to. Your representation of how you look, how you feel. Never try to look like somebody else. I'm not a fad follower.
And you just preached an entire word by even throwing Walmart in the game, because me personally, I'm a frugal shopper myself, and I guess the word you're delivering at this moment is you can be fashionably fly and frugal all at the same time. One of my favorite things to do is run into Walmart. I promise you, I did it last night. I walked right on over to them little clearance racks to see if there was a piece or two that I might be able to incorporate into my style wardrobe. Because, you know, I'm operating on stewardship here, and I think I need to spend my pennies wisely and not always have them on my back.
That whole, and you know, part of me, because there's some other things, you know, like in my heart and things I want to do, is really like to get caught up with all this designer. And I don't mean to sway your this conversation.
No, you're fine.
But like, let's go. You said, well, please, I will. My days like, if I'm buying a Goodwill, I'm in Goodwill. Like, racks, Salvation Army. Like, what's on these racks?
Yes.
Sustainability is very important for our environment. So I'm like, that's my new. It's actually not my new thing. I've always been like that. I'm going back 20 years. I used to go like, as long as I took my allergy medicine. Some of them Salvation Armies, girl, woo!
Dusty girl, dusty.
I purposely take an allergy pill, and then that's it. I'm in there. Yeah, like secondhand clothing, it's the best. Like, so that's what I do too, because that's what's going to separate you from somebody else. These looks.
Right. Right.
But having classic pieces. So
yes, classic pieces are key.